Hey everyone, this is some nerdy guy on the Nerdtastic Duo channel. So I might have to change up my intro because this is not my Some Nerdy Guys channel. But I guess I still go by Some Nerdy Guy. So anyways, I am going to make my first video for the Nerdtastic Duo channel. I'm going to talk about something that's a little bit different than what I normally talk about on my Some Nerdy Guys channel. Normally, I keep things very positive for the most part, except for I've had a couple negative rants about certain things. But one of the things that I know I've prefaced a lot is how big of a Nintendo fan I am. I'm a very big Nintendo fanatic, and I play damn near every Nintendo game that comes out. But there are Nintendo games that I don't like. And this video, I'm just going to talk about some of the Nintendo games that I do not like. And some of them, there's only two of them here that I actually have that I can show you. The other ones I don't have, or never had and only played them elsewhere, or had them and got rid of them because I didn't like them. Or I am a collector, so even some games that I do own, I don't particularly always care for, I guess, if you want to say that. But for the most part, I try to only keep games that I really do like. And over the years as a kid, I've always just kept most of my games because they were games I liked. Most of the games I got were ones that I do like. So there's very rare occasions where I would get rid of something, and it would happen to be if I genuinely just did not like the game. So without further ado, it's not really like a top 10 or like a top 5 list. I'm just kind of going to ramble off ones that from childhood memory or from recent memory that I was just like, yeah, I didn't really care for this. First one being Nintendogs. I was not a Nintendogs kid at all. I do love dogs. I love animals. But I did not like the concept of constantly having to go on your game to make sure your dog didn't die. Basically, it's like, when you're a kid, it's like, of course I played a lot of video games as a kid, but I was playing outside. I was going to my cousin's house on for weeks at a time during the summertime, just spending time with them and hanging out and watching SpongeBob. And then that's all we did. We weren't playing video games. We'd find other things to do, watch YouTube videos. We just all kinds of different stuff that you do as a kid. So I would never be consistent enough to just sit there and take care of a dog. I don't know, it just never really grasped me. I remember my cousins that I would go visit, two of them, they did really like Nintendogs, and I remember that was some of the first DS games that they got were Nintendogs games. They each got one, and then they each got I believe it was Mario Kart DS or Mario 64 DS. But I was allowed to play their DSs when they weren't playing them, and that's what I gravitated towards. Of course, being a Mario kid, the first Mario game I played, well, one of the first. I'm getting kind of rambling, but my first Mario game was Mario All Stars. But my first memory was playing Mario 64, being just completely blown away by that. So kind of getting that feeling again, but playing it on the DS was really, really cool. But yeah, Nintendogs, I just never really got into it. And even I tried playing it as an adult, I should say teenager, when I grew up and I started getting into collecting games and things like that. I tried going back, be like, maybe I missed something. Maybe there is some kind of fun to this. And it just still didn't click with me. I still didn't really care for it. So Nintendogs is a game that I just never really got into, unfortunately. So there's one. The next one is another DS series, and it is Art Academy. I think it's more on the 3DS rather than the DS, but I know there's a handful of these. Particularly the one that I played was the Art Academy Pokemon one, and which it's cool. Again, a really cool concept. A lot of people really, really like the Art Academy games. I suck at drawing. So I guess that's a skill issue, but I mean, hey, I just did not care for it. I thought it was lame. I thought it was boring. I couldn't get the hang of it because the thing is that you're supposed to start the game obviously doing simple little drawings, probably it's Pikachu's face, things like that, and it just gets more complex, and you over time it's supposed to teach you how to draw these more elaborate drawings of the Pokemon and probably like landscape and stuff, like environments that they're in and things like that. But I did not have the patience for it whatsoever. I was just like, I would like rage quit at it because I think at the time when I played it, I was in high school and I was taking art class because I had to. I mean, it wasn't bad. It's not like I dislike art. I think art is really cool. Obviously, video games are art, and I really enjoy them, and I enjoy comic books, things like that. So like, I enjoy art. I just can't do it myself. So, uh, yeah, Pokemon Art Academy or just any of the Art Academy games. I think there was one on the Wii U as well, which the Wii U one was kind of cool because you used your gamepad as like your little tablet or your what do they call that? Like your canvas. I almost said easel, but that's like the easel is the is it the thing that you put the canvas on, or the easel is the thing with the paint? I can't remember. Anyways, I did not get into Art Academy. I thought Art Academy was very out of my league, I guess. I don't want to say lame because I know a lot of people like it, but it was very lame to me and I could not get into it. And I did not like it at all. The next one is also, it's two games, but I'm putting them together because they're basically like the same thing. But it's Brain Age and Brain Academy. A lot of Academy games, but again, just like stupid little like brain teasers and stuff. And I remember my aunt had that game that she wanted my cousins to play that. Just for like a learning type game rather than just your Marios and Pokemons and things like that. So I know for parents at the time, they're like, "Oh, it's a game where you have to learn things." It's like, "Oh, I'll get that for them." Please don't. It's like, it was so awful. I hated those games. And again, same with like the Art Academy. It was just so boring to me. Like, how is this a game? And why did Nintendo make this? Like, they go from making really cool Super Mario, Legend of Zelda, Pokemon, which that's Pokemon Company more so, but just like Kirby, all these different things. And they're like, yeah, let's make a brain teaser puzzle, barely a puzzle game. It's just like, I think one of the games is literally you're just doing addition. It'll just be like 1 + 1, 2, 2 + 2, 4. And it just like keeps going and going until you can't remember. Like, it's just mental math basically, and you have to keep going. It's like, why am I playing this? Why would anybody want to play this? It's just, I don't know. Some people want to like, I guess, like stimulate their brain that way, but I'm like, there's plenty of other games where you kind of learn something, or just like your reflexes and stuff, like like shooter games and things like that of that nature. I don't really think we need to have video game. I mean, not that it's bad for like, younger kids. I'm sure it's like a cool little thing to have them play and, learn a thing or two, but like, I remember seeing the commercials for these games, and it would be grown-ass adults sitting there with their DSs doing Brain Age or Brain Academy. I'm just like, play Zelda, do something. Like, why are you playing Brain Age out of all things? It just, I don't know. It just really irked me, being like, I don't want to, it's like being a gamer, but like you see that and it's just like, this is such a waste of like programming time, or like game development time. This could have been gone into any other video game, and they chose to do this. It's just the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But hey, I'm sure some of you out there probably like Brain Age, and maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe there's other like more mini game type games that are on it that I'm just being ignorant to. I don't know, but for me, that game sucked. Both Brain Age and Brain Academy. Okay, so the next one, most of these are DS games for I've noticed, but the other one is Codename Steam that came out on the 3DS. I remember I was very, very excited for this game to come out because for whatever reason, to me, initially seeing it, it reminded me a lot of Gears of War. Just the way like the camera angle is kind of like a third-person shooter-esque looking game, but it was more of a turn-based RPG. So of course, more like a like XCOM, kind of like XCOM kind of game. But it had this like steampunk vibe to it. I thought it was kind of interesting. I I don't know. I was like into it when I saw the trailers when the game was first announced and stuff like that. I was like, this could be pretty cool, like a Nintendo version of Gears of War, because it was completely, I was blind. I don't know how, because I'm pretty sure they explained the gameplay, but to me it just looked like a third person shooter, and I was like, wow, it's like Gears of War, but for my 3DS, this will be awesome. Well, it's a turn-based RPG, which normally I love turn-based RPGs. But I think at the time it was just because I had it in my head what I thought what I knew I wanted out of the game, and it just what that was not what it was. And so I just hated it. I thought it was the worst. They put Fire Emblem characters in the game, which is kind of cool, but just a little out of place. It just didn't really make sense. Besides, Fire Emblem being a tactical RPG, like a turn-based tactical RPG, and this was the same, kind of in the same vein, but a little different. But yeah, I thought it was the lamest thing ever. I was so upset that it was just another turn-based RPG. I thought we were going to get a cool third-person shooter game with online. Like, I don't know why. My brain just started going off. And it's like, it's going to be like Gears of War. We're going to get this with it. It's going to have, like, gameplay like this. And it's going to be so cool. There'll be online mode, which there might have been an online mode. I don't really remember. But yeah, I thought the game was crap. I haven't really gone back to play it since then. But I feel like I probably should, because I might have more of an appreciation for it, being a person that's way more into RPGs than I used to be as a kid. So I say kid, but I was like early teens, I think, whenever the 3DS came out. If I remember correctly, I was like middle school into high school. But yeah, I didn't start getting into RPGs heavily until kind of later in high school. So yeah, Project Steam, crap game as of right now. Maybe on my Some Nerdy Guys channel someday, or on this channel someday, I'll replay the game and give my like updated thoughts on it or something like that. That could be kind of cool. I might do that. The next game is is a Switch game, and is probably the worst Switch game I've ever played, and it should have just been a pack-in game with the console, and that is 1-2 Switch. 1-2 Switch was the worst experience I've ever had playing my Switch, ever. It was the worst, the most boring, the most corny-ass, stupid gameplay I've ever had. So I didn't have the game. A friend of mine had the game, and he was hyping it up to me. He's like, oh, dude, it's so funny playing this game. You like have to do things, blah, blah, blah. Like the way he was explaining it, I already knew in my mind that I wasn't going to like it. But I was like, okay, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I'll play it once with you guys and see how it is. Which doesn't really pertain to the 1-2 Switch game, but me and this person are not friends anymore. So I think that's pretty funny. But we played it, and I remember the only game that really stuck out to me, because it just made me want to throw the Joy-Con across the room, was the stupid milk udder game mini game. You had to take the Joy-Con like this and the two shoulder buttons, and you had to press one then the other, press one then the other, and you just had to keep doing that motion. I'm just like, this is the biggest waste of time, which I just flashed one of the games that I'm going to talk about here. But there's just the stupidest thing. Like, it really was just a tech demo. Like, I can understand that. It was just a tech demo. But the fact that it was a $60 or $50, I think at the time when it came out, it was $50. A $50 tech demo that could have just been packed in with the game, like, or with this console, like Wii Sports, which I know with this video going out, people are probably going to bitch about the Switch 2 and the thing that should have been a pack-in. But that's only a $10 purchase. Regardless of, it should be packed in with the console. I get that. It definitely should be. But that's a $10 fee versus a $50 fee for a tech demo. Like, come on. It was so terrible. And the fact that they made a sequel to this game, a bunch of idiots must have bought it. I mean, I'm sure people probably thought, oh, this is going to be the next Wii Sports. Everybody's going to be playing this on their Switch, so we got to buy it. And they bought it, and maybe some people liked it. That friend that I was talking about hyped it up for some reason, and it just fell flat on its face for me. I thought it was the worst game on the Switch that I've ever played. And there is tons of shovelware on the Switch, but that is the worst game I've ever played for the Switch. So these last two games, these are kind of like honorable mentions because I don't like hate these ones. They're just ones I never really got into, like a lot of the other Nintendo franchises that I just am die hard for, which is most of them. You know, like all the main ones, like you have Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Kirby, but I like Pikmin, Chibi Robo, Luigi's Mansion. Man, I'm blanking on a bunch of stuff, but you know, just the Nintendo Earthbound. Earthbound's like one of my favorite games of all time. Just like I like the niche stuff too. But these ones were just franchises that I just never really got into, which is what the whole freaking video is about. But these are ones that I don't hate. I just didn't really like as much. Anyways, Wave Race. Wave Race is a game that is good. It is a good game. Like there's stuff that I like about it. I really like the graphics. I like the environments and like the water effects. I remember really liking them. The GameCube one specifically, Wave Race Blue Storm. I didn't play the 64 one as much. This is the main one that I played. But again, it just didn't really grab me. It just was kind of, you know, it was just okay. It was kind of like one of those games that you would probably pick up and play it, or you like walk into an arcade and they'd have like Hydro Thunder or something. This kind of reminds me of that type of game. You play it a couple times and you're like, all right, that's all I needed. I don't need to play this game anymore. But there are like some diehard fans of Wave Race that are like begging for a new one. And you know what? I hope they do get a new one, and maybe I'll try that too. But for me, it just didn't really hit for me, unfortunately. I do like the music too. I'll give it that. The music is really good too in this game. So, but yeah, I just wasn't super duper deep into the Wave Race craze. I don't know. A lot of people really are diehard for Wave Race, but for me, it just wasn't my thing. And then this one, again, is not a franchise or a game that I hate or that I don't want to ever pick up and play again. It's just one that I never fully got into like a lot of other people did. And that is Splatoon, which is kind of a heavy one to say because, like, you know, this is Nintendo's, like, one of their biggest, newest franchises that have come out that's been a really big success, and a lot of people love it. And I loved it when it first came out on the Wii U, the first game. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I was like, a Nintendo online shooter, which I thought Codename Steam was going to be. It's a Nintendo online shooter. I was like, this is great. This is what Nintendo needed. It's awesome. And it did what it needed to do. It's got 3 games now, and a lot of people play it competitively. It's got a big competitive scene, and it is really cool. But for me, I just, nowadays, I'm just not really into the online shooter type of game anymore. So like, it doesn't really resonate with me as much. I do pick up and play it every now and then. I get a craving sometimes to play a shooter game, which I have other shooter games to play. I have Gears of War, I have Halo. But some of the, like, the art style and the aesthetic of Splatoon is very appealing, and I do really like that aspect of it and everything. But again, it's just not something that I'm like, oh man, I can't wait for the next Splatoon. I'm just like, oh, another Splatoon, that's cool. Or I might pick it up. And something that the third game did that the first 2 games didn't do was a single player mode. There were like missions you could do, I think, in the first 2 games. There were like there was like one single player thing. But this one had just like a full single player mode in the game, which made it a lot better to me because I like having that option. I don't always want to play online matches with people. It gets kind of repetitive, redundant, and there's so many sweats on online games anymore, so it kind of just takes the fun out of it. To me personally, I know, skill issue, sue me. But I don't always have the time to like grind on Splatoon and get really good at it. I just want to like pick it up and play it for a couple rounds, which again, I do every now and then. But yeah, those are some Nintendo games that I don't like. Just kind of weird for me to say because I like a lot of them. But yeah, these were some in particular that I don't like. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that disagree with what I have to say. But I'm also sure there's a lot of people that can agree that are like, yeah, you picked all the boring ones to not like. This is not controversial at all. Which, hey, I'm just speaking my mind because, like I said, normally I don't talk about ones that I don't like. I'm just like, oh man, I love Nintendo, I love Mario, I love Kirby. It's so like for me, it's kind of weird to say ones that I don't like. But yeah, so this is my first video on the Nerdtastic Duo channel. And if you like these videos, and if you like Taylor's videos too, subscribe to our channel. We're going to have all kinds of different content. He's got the shorts coming. He's got 3 of them uploaded now, and I'm sure he's just going to kind of keep them rolling out. I'm going to experiment with that same kind of format that he's doing, but talk about some of the things in my collection and things like that. So look forward to seeing those. And I have a second video kind of like this, a discussion video that I'm going to do that I'll probably upload next week. So this will be this week's video, and then I'll do one next week. And I have videos for Some Nerdy Guy. I'm gonna shameless self-promotion, go check out my other channel, Some Nerdy Guy. I got other pickup videos and other things like that on my own channel as well. So just watch everything, just do it. No, no, you don't really have to, but if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And until the next one, see ya.